This is the Choosing Joy podcast with me, Jodi Lynn Turpin. Take a breath, feel it all, choose joy anyway. Hello and welcome back to the Choosing Joy podcast. It's me, Jodi Lynn Turpin. Welcome to episode 82 of the podcast. It's still so exciting as the numbers go up. I'm not really sure why, it's just super exciting. I love spreading the joy and how I choose joy more and more in my life. And so I'm really excited to share a little story with you. So many years ago, a wife and a husband moved into a house with their two little boys. And on the first day, they were cleaning and tidying. And this was right between Christmas and New Year's, I think the 27th of December. And the mom decided, I'm going to go for a little walk through the yard and just check it out. It was snowy and beautiful, and she had never had such a big yard or that much space for everyone to roam. So she's walking around alone and comes almost to the end of the walk and falls in a little hole. The left leg goes down into the hole and she breaks her back. And so she does what anyone does who has just broke their back. She sees doctors, tries to take medicines, tries to heal, but never quite heals all the way, always has a bit of a back problem. And so a couple years later, she's planting potatoes, a very big, huge satchel of potatoes, got the tools and everything. And she falls in another little, just tiny hole, just trips just right. And this time really hurts her back even worse. She was given the opportunity to heal again from a back injury. And this time she thought about it differently, because last time she was the victim. It was poor me, don't let anyone help me, I can do it on my own, I don't need anyone's help to heal. But this time she knew that wasn't an option. With two little boys at home and, wanting to do her own businesses and activities and all those things, she said, I needed to change my mindset about healing. And so she did. She started thinking positively, was not the victim. Her hands became softer than they'd ever been in her entire life because she allowed help in. She allowed people to help. She even asked for help. So many years pass after this. She's completely healed, back to herself. But then she starts to feel different, a little bit low. She'd done a lot of healing, learned a lot of different modalities, learned deeper about spirituality, and there was just a lot of confusion in the brain. So she was gifted with a brain injury, with a concussion that changed everything and gave her the opportunity to start to look at things even differently, more joyful, more deeply, more easy, more purposeful on earth. And everything changed after that. Again, she allowed help in. Again, she flooded herself with positivity, with shows, with people, with laughter, choosing joy. And then 5 years later, she's right here in front of you, speaking on this podcast about choosing joy. And I don't tell you my story, just this tiny, tiny bit of my story. This is only a little bit of my story. I don't tell you it for you to feel sad. And even if you did feel sad for me, maybe check yourself a little bit. Empathy is okay, but if you had sadness, no, because I don't have sadness for my story. I'm grateful I was given these opportunities to heal, because that's what I needed to heal. It's what I needed to move forward to become the person I am today. And through my life, I've made lots of choices, lots of bad choices. I've been divorced, and I'm not saying that's even a bad choice. It worked out really well for everyone involved in the end. But I've hurt people. I've done things I'm not proud of. But as I think and review my life and the story of my life, I'm grateful for these huge challenges. to move far away from where I grew up twice in my life and be nervous and scared and alone and have no friends or anyone to talk to. I'm grateful for these challenges. And the reason I bring this up today is because I think about suffering and how part of our suffering is our choice in our head that we choose to suffer. So there's lots of different ways you can suffer. There's physical pain in your body. You break your arm, you break your back, you have a disease or a sickness. There's also emotional. So, when there's been a betrayal or somebody hurts you or you're hurting yourself. And then there's another kind, and I don't know if this is a category of its own. A lot of things could go into this. But when I got hit on the head, I couldn't think straight. I was foggy. My thoughts were in control. I had anxiety, and I'd never had anxiety in my whole life. I wasn't in control of my thoughts, mostly. I would say 80%. Sometimes it went up to 100%. Sometimes it would be down to like 20%. But mostly I wasn't in control. But I knew that if I surrounded myself with certain things like positive shows, good food, going outside, that I would slowly heal. So it's kind of like a suffering that's out of your control. And this is just one example, obviously, of a lot. And you can think of a bunch on your own. But I'm telling you from my experience today. So when you're in this confusion and it's almost like your brain is being reprogrammed, you get to decide what you're going to fill it with, what books, what shows, who are you going to surround yourself with, what are you going to do for yourself? Are you going to do things to nourish your brain, anti-inflammatory, all these things? What are you going to do and not play into the victim? Of course, there were multiple times I was like, why is this happening to me? Please, please, please help me understand why. And I believe that the concussion, out of all the things, was the biggest gift I've ever been given in my life. Both of the times I broke my back, for sure. And then we have to do like 17 other podcasts about my other ways I feel like I've been gifted through suffering, through pain. But when you're not in control, that third thing I'm talking about, it is hard and you have to fight hard for yourself. And so when you have those moments of clarity, you have to tell the people around you, please remind me. It's been a week since I felt like this. Please remind me. It's been a month. I used to tell my husband every time I had like I don't even know what you want to call it, just like this flare up of just not good feelings. I would tell him, like I even had a list right on the refrigerator. Remind me of these things. Remind me it's been 3 months since this happened. Remind me it's been a whole year since this happened that I've had that flare up. And I also reached out and found a lot of people who had concussions, and friends also shared a lot of things with me. There's the concussion doctor. Oh, I'd love to have him on the podcast. Okay, I'll reach out to him. Because there's just the steps of coming out of this, of feeling better. And it has a lot to do with choosing joy and feeling into positivity while you heal, while it feels horrible. But back to it. And please reach out with any questions, especially if you have a head injury or anything. I would love to talk to you about it. I've done about every alternative healing thing you can think of for it. And I think it's been very beneficial and overall extremely positive. So when you have these different kinds of suffering, physical, emotional, and then out of your control suffering, how do you feel? Does it make you super angry that you broke your foot and now you cannot ride your bike or, get around the way that you used to? Or may I just even suggest that you shift and think, wait, what is this giving me? This is giving me more time to crochet, more time to work on that business I wanted, more time to read more positive things, to watch some positive shows, to sit and play board games with my kids. I mean, I could go on and on. But are you going to be the victim of suffering, or are you going to be the hero and learn from it so you can go forward and teach others? Because there's always someone you can connect to because of suffering. Always someone you can help because of the things you have suffered through, the things that you have grown through. And that alone is huge purpose and huge beauty in the world. Whew, that's beautiful. I just seen so many people and read so many stories about the suffering or the pain that people have gone through and what they've learned and how much it's changed them to be this phenomenal human. And you know you've done it. Everyone has gone through things. Everyone has suffered differently. Everyone has grown differently because a really horrible situation, maybe because they broke their finger and now they can't do their job, and is a whole big suffering. Then things that we couldn't even imagine happening to us, those people don't even think of it as suffering. So perspective is huge in this situation, obviously. And another thing to think of too is that the pain of this situation that is happening is temporary. It's temporary because not only maybe your finger heals from being broken, but also your brain will shift to be able to handle different kind of things, especially with out of control kind of situations. So, you have a sickness and it is going to be something that's going to be with you for your whole life, which I also believe that there's ways of healing from many, many things. But I digress on a little side note there. But you as a person will be able to handle things more and more. So it's not any more suffering, and it's completely separate, not anymore of you're the victim of the situation. That's a really amazing thought to think about as we go through things. Like even when I was laying on my floor for 9 months of just laying around the second time I broke my back, but I got to just be on the floor playing with the boys. I could only use one arm because I had to brace myself with the other arm, but we had so much fun together. We watched movies. I felt like I became a better mom in that time, even though I had to ask my my 6-year-old, can you get cereal out for everyone? Can you do this? But that also gave him the opportunity for growth too, because it does. I have so many things to say right now. My brain is like flooded with information and things to share, but I'm going to stick to what I wanted to talk about, kind of. So another thought in this is that, can I do anything to help me in this situation? So physical, emotional, or out of control. Can I eat better? Anti-inflammatory, that can always help. No processed foods, all the things like that. Can I get outside? Even with my broken back, could I go outside and lay while the boys are playing outside? I can go out there and lay and get the sun on me, feel good. Is there some sort of alternative healing that I can do? Can I start flooding my brain, if it's more emotional, with more positive things? Or can I create habits or take action to start changing my life so that I can feel better emotionally? And I know this is so many different things, from the emotional side. It's so much. But there's always a little step forward that you can take. I mean, what else can you do when you're feeling so low to help yourself? What can you do? I would love to hear what people have done. Can I have just like every single human on my podcast that has gone through something and come out on the other side with just change and growth and a more amazing person because of what they have gone through? I'm not saying the things that you go through either aren't sad. Of course they are. I'm not a ding dong. I don't live under a rock. I understand that there is real pain, but it's there for us. Yeah. It's there for us to learn, grow, heal, change, and choose differently. And if you ever look back at the pain you've experienced in your life, do you see how it lines up with something else? For example, the first time I broke my back, I was trying to do way too much. Way too much. And I needed to slow down. And then I didn't listen, so it happened again. And also, I now take care of my body on a way deeper level too, making sure I'm strong, making sure, I can exercise and eat healthy, especially anti-inflammatory. And I've actually been able to help different people within this, which makes my heart really happy that they've reached out because they know, oh, Jodi, remember when you hurt your back? Can we talk about this? What did you do? How did you help yourself? And there it is, a beautiful way to connect to people, even on a deeper level. And just in general, like when I'm feeling low, I let myself feel low. And then you kind of have that like, whew, shift kind of feeling. And you're like, wait a second. I need to watch a silly movie now. I need to watch a movie to make me cry, to release this energy and feel through my feelings. I need to get outside for a long time. I'm going to go work outside on my patio instead. I'm going to take a walk during my work lunch. I'm going to choose different things that I'm taking into my body, that I'm feeling myself with. I'm going to make a different choice. And really, I know this sounds corny, but I love this idea. The things that help you, make a list and put it somewhere where you can remember it, or like right on your computer or on your desk or on your refrigerator or your mirror, wherever you want to put it. But those things that remind you of your joy and your happiness and that bring you back to that. Like even if you're like, I'm not going to work out, but every single time you do, it feels so good and you have so much energy for the whole day. Sounded like a butthole when I said that. But anyways, I guess I had to make myself laugh right then. But make a list. Like do it right now. Write down like 4 movies that or shows that make you laugh, 4 that make you cry. I mean, this can be one, do what you want. Where you like to hike the most, who if you call will lift your spirits because that's the kind of energy that they have. Yeah. Make your list. I mean, you can make it on your phone, do whatever you want, make it cute. You could use like Canva or something and make it really cute with like pictures. I need to take a class on that. That'd be fun. And the last thing I want to bring up within this is, am I, during my own personal pain or the pain around me, putting more negativity into it? Am I gossiping about it? Am I telling everyone and their mom who will listen about it? Am I putting more anger and fuel towards the things? Because that is making it worse. There's a difference between awareness and putting things that are negative into a situation. It's beautiful to be aware of what is going on, but what are you doing? Are you praying for the situation? And I'm talking things outside of us, and not the suffering you're dealing with out of control that's happening within your physical being, your spiritual being, but the things outside of us. Are you putting more pain towards it, more anger, more negativity, instead of actually taking a beautiful action, sending love, praying, making food for someone, giving someone a call? There's a bazillion ideas for this, but the more negativity you put out into the world, the more negativity you bring into your world of yourself. And negativity has a lot of faces. Some people think that their negativity is good because they're putting out, information that may be misleading or they don't even know it to be true. I talked about this last week in my social media podcast episode. Double check your information always. And there's so much information out there. What could be true? What couldn't be true? But when you look at all the different faces of negativity, you may think you're doing good by saying certain things, but you may not be. I'm going to say you probably are not, because the more pain you put towards something, the worse it gets. And this isn't spiritual bypassing. This isn't toxic positivity. This is what energy is and what it does. So think about that. Yeah. Think about that a little bit deeper for what you're putting out there, what you're putting your energy into. And again, I'm speaking of outside of your physical body, which I know the things outside of your physical body can still cause emotional pain within, but is it actually happening to you? But what can you do as a person to spread more kindness, to spread more joy, to be a light in the world? So honestly, this is a bit longer of a podcast than I've been doing lately, but I was really happy to talk about this. I felt called to last night. And if you have questions about the things that I have gone through or what I've learned from other people, all the women I work with have gone through completely different kinds of suffering, of physical pain, of out of their control pain. And it all looks different to each person, which is so beautiful because we're all here to learn different things. It makes my heart so happy. We're all so unique and all so beautiful in our different ways. I love people. I love humans. They're so cool. It's so amazing. I also want to expand my vocabulary. And I know who will be listening and laughing about that. But anyways, if you'd like to talk more, if you have any questions, please reach out to me, Jodi at jodilynnturpin.com. Or you can find more information about me on my website, jodilynnturpin.com. And also, I invite you, if you like what you hear here in my podcast, to please sign up for my newsletter. There's a link below in the podcast description and also on all of my social media. There's a link to sign up for my newsletter or on my website because I love sharing in my newsletter. And I'm going to start sharing a bit more. So just sounds fun. If you want to connect a little bit deeper that way, there's no pressure. It's just an email about joy. Anyways, I'm so grateful for this community. And thank you everyone who reaches out and comments and, sends me information or ideas for different podcasts. And thank you for everyone who commented on my question box on Instagram. I am going to get to everything. There was lots of good ideas. And I'm really excited to connect to that. This episode was going to be a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but I didn't want to talk about that today, so I didn't. But I will get to everything from the questions and comments. And I love you all, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Keep choosing joy, and I'll see you all soon. You've been listening to the Choosing Joy podcast with me, Jodi Lynn Turpin. Be gentle with yourself, trust the timing, and keep choosing joy again and again.